All right, now, ever since Isaac Herzog left the Jewish Agency to take up his post as Israel's president, the vacancy he left at the Jewish Agency as head of the group has yet to be filled. And then just this week, the frontrunner for the position withdrew his candidacy under accusations of misconduct while working as head of the IDF's manpower directorate. So who will be the new head of this nearly 100-year-old organization? Former Israeli ambassador to the United States, Ambassador Dani Ayalon, joins us with more. Dani, it's great to have you back with us. Now, first off, let's start with what the agency does today and how important is this organization?
Okay, Aaron. Well, first of all, what the agency does today is helping Aliyah for Israel from all over the world, supporting Jewish identity and Jewish studies, Jewish education abroad in the different Jewish communities around the world, and Sunrise. This is pretty much what they do today. Now, are they really, or is it really necessary to continue? Well, first of all, we have to remember the Jewish Agency has been the most important Jewish organization until 1948, until Israel was established. And actually, this was the national institution headed by the famous and great first Prime Minister of Israel, David Ben-Gurion. They very much were the silver platter, if I may say so, that upon which the state was reestablished. But the question is whether we need it today. Well, when the state was still young, the claim was that we do need the Jewish Agency to operate in countries where Israel cannot, due to lack of diplomatic relations. And as you know, there has been this Arab boycott, and Israel has always been under onslaught of, I would say, political attacks by the Palestinians, the Iranians, radical Islam, and all their collaborators. So when Israel was not able to operate, this was the Jewish Agency. But the question today, where Israel has matured enough to have great relations with most countries in the world. Today, Israel is spread out. Our embassies are over 105 different countries. And Israel today is much stronger than it was 70, 73 years ago. The question is whether this organization is still necessary, or maybe it's redundant to what the government of Israel should do, or federations. For instance, Aliyah, government of Israel can do the Aliyah. By the way, and also for full disclosure, I was chairman of Nefesh B'Nefesh, which is doing Aliyah from North America. And I can tell you that Nefesh B'Nefesh is much more organized and more effective than the Jewish Agency when it comes to Aliyah from North America. So the question is, do we still need this very, very encumbered organization, bureaucratic, huge one, with thousands of employees, hundreds of millions of dollars budget? Do we really need that, or this money can be better served if it was given to the Israeli people through the Israeli government?
And how would you answer that question? Yeah. How would you answer?
And again, it's a very, very, I think, appropriate and timely question, because the other thing, Jewish education, I think this Jewish education should be vested, and that should be the total responsibility of the Jewish communities, whether it's the federations in North America or anywhere else. And wherever they need support, the state of Israel is strong enough to support it. So, and of course, without this great Jewish people's support throughout the years of the state of Israel, so we would not have been here today had it not been for the support of the Jewish communities all over the world, first and foremost, of course, North America and the United States. But today, the balance, luckily for all of us, also for the Jewish communities abroad, has changed. Israel is strong enough, so today we should give back, and we should be the ones supporting the Jewish communities abroad, and again, give the responsibility for Jewish education and identity to the Jewish different communities abroad. So again, in my mind, this organization probably has outlived its usefulness. And I would say in the least, it should be trimmed down, should be scaled down, become a skeleton organization, and operate through NGOs, which are much more effective in terms of capacity to bring results, and of course, much less costly.
All right, well, you've certainly given us a lot to consider here, and whether or not this agency will actually be stripped down remains to be seen, but when we have some more, we'd love to have you back to discuss that. Ambassador, thank you so much for joining us.